SummerSlam 1992, 30 years later.
So the SummerSlam with both good news and bad news. The bad news being that Wembley Stadium sold out in a mere 10 hours.
It was billed as the SummerSlam you thought you would never see. It's crazy to think that in 2022, SummerSlam 92 is 30 years old. To this day, it's regarded as one of the greatest SummerSlam events of all time, and many people also have it on their greatest pay-per-view events of all time list too. As we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of this landmark WWF event, we thought it was the perfect time to take a look at it and see what made it so special, as well as having a look at some fun facts and trivia about the event. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video today. We aim to bring you fun wrestling content on a regular basis, so please subscribe and be sure to Randy Savage elbow drop that like button if you enjoy the video. What happened before they jumped over the pond? The first thing we have to address is that initially SummerSlam 1992 was not even supposed to take place in the UK. It's been reported that the event was originally going to happen in Maryland. However, an interesting twist to this is that a UK officially licensed WWF poster magazine called Sporting Superstars had a contest to win tickets for SummerSlam 1992 long before it was announced, and they had the event listed as taking place in Washington, DC. No matter where it was supposed to be, SummerSlam 92 was originally scheduled to take place in the USA, as the event had done the previous 4 years.
Only on USA!
WWF was red hot in the UK. We cannot overstate just how popular the WWF was in the UK during this time. Thanks to the boom in Sky TV and the availability of WWF merchandise, ranging from action figures, clothing, and even food, the WWF was everywhere. In 1991, there was the WWF UK Rampage Tour that took place in the spring and was headlined by a TV special in London. Later in 1991, the WWF went back to the UK for the incredible Battle Royale at the Royal Albert Hall TV special. Then, in the spring of 1992, there was the intense WWF European Rampage Again tour, where many cities in the UK would get 2 nights of WWF shows. So, from 1991 to 1992, including SummerSlam, the WWF was in the UK 4 times. We would love to hear from you fans in the UK if you actually went to any of these shows during this time. Let us know in the comments section what your memories of the show were. The biggest WWF crowd?
Look at this! 80,000 fans! Oh yeah!
Another interesting bit of trivia about SummerSlam 92 is that there were a legit over 80,000 fans in attendance at Wembley Stadium, which put it as the second biggest attendance for a WWF pay-per-view behind the 93,000 at the Pontiac Silverdome for WrestleMania 3. However, it's long been debated that the WWF actually inflated that number, and SummerSlam 92 for a very long time, WrestleMania 29 if you believe the numbers the WWE gives out, was the biggest crowd a WWF pay-per-view had had. What are your thoughts on this? What event do you think had the biggest crowd? And if you think it was SummerSlam 92, will the WWE ever come clean and tell us what was the legit attendance for WrestleMania 3? How many matches were there? Before we get into talking about specific matches that took place at SummerSlam, the event, we do need to talk about how many matches actually took place at the show. The pay-per-view had 8 matches, but there were in fact 11 matches that happened at SummerSlam 92. There were 3 dark matches: Tatanka vs the Berserker, Tito Santana vs Papa Shango, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Bushwhackers vs the Mountie and the Nasty Boys. It was a bit of a come down for the Mountie and the Nasty Boys, who were all involved in major high-profile matches at SummerSlam 91. A bit of trivia here is that long before the event took place, it was supposed to be Texas Tornado taking on Papa Shango. He even recorded promos for the match, but he was fired from the company before the event took place. Also, in the UK, the VHS release of SummerSlam 92 featured the dark matches, whereas the USA release did not. What about the Legion of Sissies? The tag team scene in the WWF in 1992 was going through some major changes. Initially, it was supposed to be the Legion of Doom vs Money Inc. for the WWF Tag Team Championships. However, Money Inc. would lose the titles to the Natural Disasters, who would defend them against the Beverly Brothers at SummerSlam. When you think about it, this makes no sense at all. All throughout the spring and summer of 1992, the Beverly Brothers had been making fun of the Legion of Doom, calling them the Legion of Sissies. This went on for weeks, and nothing ever came of this. It would have made way more sense for these teams to face off at SummerSlam 92. The Legion of Doom looked incredible as they rode down to the ring on their bikes with their golden shoulder pads. However, this would be the last time they would team up for a very long time due to Hawk's personal problems that he was having at the time. What are your memories of the Legion of Doom vs the Beverly Brothers that happened during 1992? Do you feel they should have had a blow-off match at SummerSlam 92? Let us know in the comments section down below. Warrior Wildness vs Macho Madness. There's no denying that the Ultimate Warrior's best opponent was Macho Man Randy Savage. Over a year prior, the two tore the house down at WrestleMania 7, and now they were squaring off again in one of two main events that went down at SummerSlam 92. The whole story behind this match was Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect getting involved. For weeks on TV, Mr. Perfect was making the claim that either Macho Man or the Ultimate Warrior had bought his services and he was going to be in their corner at SummerSlam. Both Warrior and Savage fiercely denied this leading into the event, and it created a great deal of tension. This was a clever way to add a lot of heat to what was a babyface vs babyface match. When both Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior made their entrances and there was no Mr. Perfect to be seen, fans wondered what was going on. It did not take long for Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair to show up and interfere in the match, however, and they proved that they were on neither man's side as they attacked them both. While the ending feels a little flat, the match itself is fantastic and a whole lot of fun. It has long been rumoured that there were plans to turn the Ultimate Warrior heel during this storyline. That would have been very interesting to see, but he ultimately, if you believe the stories, shot down the idea of being a heel. This match is truly epic, and we'd love to know which match you think is better, this one or the one they had at WrestleMania 7. The Ultimate Homecoming. Say what you want about the main event being Macho Man Randy Savage vs the Ultimate Warrior, but we all know the real main event of SummerSlam 92 was the Intercontinental Championship match between Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. The initial plan was for Shawn Michaels to take the title from Bret Hart, but as the event was in the UK, it was decided to have Davey Boy take the title and then he would drop it to Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart actually gives a lot of insight into this match in his awesome book. What more can be said about this match that hasn't already been said? This is a 5-star classic and one of the best performances from Bret Hart. It's even more impressive when you know that for most of the match, Davey Boy is pretty out of it due to partying too hard beforehand. Bret managed to lead him through a fantastic match, and it is a true testament to just how good of a performer Bret Hart was. Even to this day, this is regarded as one of the greatest SummerSlam matches of all time. However, Bret Hart and the British Bulldog would have another match a few years later at In Your House 5. More than a few people actually consider that to be a better match. Thank you so much for taking this trip back to 1992 with us today. SummerSlam 92 is an event that holds up incredibly well. It's just as much fun to watch today as it was 30 years ago. Speaking of which, fans in the UK are getting a special 30th anniversary DVD Blu-ray release of this event. Let us know in the comments section what your thoughts on SummerSlam 92 are. What's your favourite match? How do you think the event holds up after all these years? Thanks again for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more wrestling content.